We're back investigating the most shocking ways people are being duped. Now it's the most popular scam that breaks hearts and bank accounts. Imagine losing $1 million from an online relationship scam. A former intelligence officer says she lost her life savings from a man who duped her all the way from Nigeria. Now, Debbie is here with what she says all women should know. Thanks for being here. I know you were recently widowed when this all started. I'm sorry for that. But when you started online, that wasn't dating, it was just online relationship building. You weren't interested in romance.
That's correct. I was looking for someone just to be a friend, a companion, someone I could talk to about Lou dying and about my life, my kids. And it was a friendship I was looking for, not anything physical. It was safe because it was at a distance.
And you were contacted by this gentleman. He called himself Eric. What did he say about himself?
He was a widower. He had a son, Kenny. He was 7. He was from London. He was kind. He was well-spoken, which was funny because most of the men that were writing online could hardly write.
Right.
It's like talking to a 5th grader.
Right.
And so he was very articulate, and he said he was well-educated. Something that I could connect with, some man I could connect with.
How would you communicate with him?
Typically by texting. Well, not texting like we text today, but it was writing.
And it was something like 4,000 messages? You actually
No, I have 4,000 pages of journal.
4,000 pages. I mean, I've looked through some of them. You have 4 of these binders full of these messages, right?
Those are actually the financial transactions, each of the financial transactions. I had kept an online journal. So I copied and pasted every email that I had, I put into a journal, and then I printed it thinking I was having family history.
One of the things that kind of stood out to me, one of the early exchanges you had, you actually said to him something along the lines of, when he was first asking you for money, either I'm an extreme fool or this is going to be a wonderful relationship. So obviously something was clicking in your brain that something wasn't right. Do you think you just ignored that or didn't want to believe it?
I'm sure I ignored it because I classify myself as one of those damn Yankees that doesn't give money away. And I was very frugal. So it was so out of character for me just to be giving money to somebody that I didn't know.
Did you ever ask to talk to him on the phone or meet him in person?
I did. And when I talked to him, he had a British accent, which played right into the whole story. He was from London. And we were supposed to meet for Christmas. And it was great. I was setting up hotel rooms, and all this was happening until the 21st of December when there was a snag in one of his transactions and a payment didn't get through, and so he wasn't able to come.
So, again, I completely get this. You're just looking for connection at any level.
Correct.
And I appreciate how painful it is to have lost the man you were married to for so long, and trying to just stay in touch with the world draws you into relationships maybe you normally wouldn't have been involved in. Nevertheless, you're an intelligence officer. So that part of your brain is probably saying, check up on him. And so what did you do?
Well, my brothers told me that too when they first heard about this. They said, do background checks, do this, do that. I'm like, you guys, it's just friendship. I'm just looking for someone to be kind to me. And when he first wrote to me, it was interesting. The one thing I remember is at the end of his email, he said, you can call me Eric Cole. And I thought, that's kind of an odd way to say my name is. So I called him on it. I said, what did you mean by that? And I said, it sounded funny. He said, oh, it's franca lingua. It's the way the Brits speak. And I kind of rationalized that maybe he did say that because that's the way he does speak. And I would check things out. He would send me an address of where his son was, and I Google Earthed it. And I was an imagery analyst in the Air Force, so I was looking at all the things around the home that he said was his, and I visualized in my mind, is this the place that he's living, or could his family be there? And it all fell into place. Or when I questioned something, though, he always had a plausible answer.
They always do.
As to why.
They always do.
They always do.
They do.
Yeah, they're so convincing.
There's a playbook. They know what to
Exactly.
say. And
they're pros.
And I had no reason to not trust him. I had never heard of an issue online dating. My mom's best friend met her husband online.
But all this right now is platonic. It's pretty simple. At what point did he start asking you for money?
It started off very small at the beginning. The first time he ever asked me, he was trying to get one of his friends online. He said, if you could help him out, that'd be great. And I did that, and I guess that shows that I was willing.
It always starts
But it was
small.
very small.
It always starts small.
$60, $70. It was very small.
What did he say about paying you back?
He was always going to pay me back. As soon as his job, and because I have a company and I understand that sometimes you don't get paid until after the job's done,
Right.
I got that. And so when all of his expenses were coming up over there and he couldn't pay them because he hadn't been paid yet, I got it. I was helping him. He became part of my family. And I think that we would do anything for our family.
So over the course of about 2 years, you say you gave him $1 million.
Over $1 million.
Over $1 million.
And I didn't have $1 million to give. I want people to know that. Because I felt he was family, I found it. I found it through retirement accounts. I sold jewelry. I sold trees that I had, investments that I had, because it was coming back to me. There was always that, when I get there, Deb, I'll pay you back. We'll have the money in the bank. It was.
I'm asking this
Wasn't a
because
gift.
I respect what you do in your day job. Obviously, you're very thoughtful about a lot of things. He claimed to be a successful businessman. In the back of your mind, did you ever wonder, how can a successful businessman not have $90 to pay for a friend, or more importantly, $1 million to pay for the bigger things that he's trying to do?
I probably had that thought, but at the beginning it was more fun, and I didn't.